Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. My name is Mr. Suarez. As we continue to be working from home during this pandemic, I wanted to thank everybody for watching this video, and I hope that is helpful for you. Please remember, I'm working from home, so you might be able to hear my washing machine going in the background or my kids crying or playing as well. One of the first topics we're going to be talking about is going to be macromolecules. And it's important that you understand that these macromolecules are big molecules, are the basic for all the functions in our living sense. So they are the basic for everything we do. And basically without these macromolecules, I doubt that we will be functioning the way we do on a daily basis. You need to know that there are four of them. The first one are carbohydrates. Or sugars. Most people know it as sugars, but definitely carbohydrates. The second ones are lipids or fat. Then you have proteins. And finally, you have nucleic acids. One thing that they all have in common is that they have carbon. And that's one of the reasons why they are called organic compounds. Again, there are four macromolecules: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. As carbohydrates, some examples of carbohydrates are just simple sugar, the sugar that you put in your coffee, sugar from juice, or a candy, for example. Lipids, you're going to have cooking oil, you're going to have butter, you're going to have animal fat. Those are samples of lipids. For proteins, you're going to have multiple of them. One example of that is obviously meat, the meat that you eat in hamburgers, chicken. These things are proteins, and also there are some examples of proteins like enzymes. Finally, you have nucleic acids. Examples of nucleic acids are DNA and RNA. Both of them are mostly important in the storage and releasing of the genetic information, but also we should keep in mind that ATP is also an example of a nucleic acid. Again, just to summarize what we have done so far, we're going to be talking about macromolecules, and there are basically four types of macromolecules: carbohydrates, which mainly is candies and sugars; lipids, which some examples of that is cooking oil, butter, and wax. And then we will talk about proteins and eventually nucleic acids. As an example of proteins, you're going to have albumin on the eggs, the meat that you normally eat, enzymes, we will talk about it later. And then examples of nucleic acids, you definitely have DNA and RNA. But we should also remember that ATP is a nucleic acid as well. And then we will go more in details in the next couple of minutes. Just to summarize, we have carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids. Now that we have basically introduced the four types of macromolecules, let's just go over some vocabulary words that will be important. Let's talk about monomers. Monomers, they are the building blocks of macromolecules. What do I mean by that? Basically, they are the foundation of the macromolecules. For example, in this analogy, let's assume that one monomer is a brick. So many bricks together, they will be polymers. Again, monomers are the building blocks of macromolecules. And once you get to know the monomers of each of these macromolecules, you will be able to understand their composition and their chemical structure. Okay, so here is a little table that I hope it will help you to summarize the different monomer for each of the macromolecules. So for carbohydrates, the monomer of a carbohydrate is glucose. What is the monomer for lipids? That will be glycerol and fatty acids. Again, amino acids would be the monomer for proteins, and nucleic acids monomers are nucleotides. This is a little bit more complicated. We're going to go ahead and we're going to break each of these macromolecules and their monomers one by one. But right now, this little table will be a good summary for each of the macromolecules and each of their monomers.